Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and I am very tired. I just woke up. I have work in an hour, or I have to go to the office in an hour. I'm totally not prepared for this. I was supposed to do my reaction slash breakdown vid of the new movie trailer today, but I woke up and we got some interesting news directly related to slime, so I figured that would be a little more interesting to cover because we know what the next meta is going to be for September, and surprisingly, it is not what I was thinking. So, courtesy of Facebook and Twitter, we have the Awakening survey of Earth units. Geld, Kurobay, the Chad, Gail Gibson. Now, if you're new, what this means is that since they are giving us an Awakening survey for Earth characters, we can actually go in game and see it in action right now. So right now there is an Awakening trial for Xion, Water Xion, or no, for no, I'm sorry, Wind Xion. Wind Xion, because Wind is strong against the Water Conquest. So Event, Conquest, Water Conquest, and you want to use Wind characters. What they do is they give us an Awakening trial so you can immediately get a lower ranked unit up to 5-star, get them into a usable state, therefore you can take them into the conquest of the meta that's going to run, so you can farm up cores and farm up materials to awaken gear for that meta. So since we are getting an Earth unit, Earth is effective against space. So we are getting the Space 2.0 meta. Very early. I thought they would hold off on this until after the anniversary, because of how strong the space meta still is. Because obviously that, we're still running Veldora, Milim, Hero, Carrion. So that team has not, really been power crept out yet. In fact, they were the original team that began power creep in this game, and continues to be the golden example of what a team can be. The light team, also very good. They serve two different purposes. One is very quick burst damage, one is some stacking up. The new current water meta is also very strong and comparable to the space team. I don't know if a 100 Hinata on her optimal team can match a 100 Milim on her optimal team. I don't have a 100 Hinata, so I can't even physically test that. But we know how strong Milim, Hero, Carrion, sorry, I'm so tired. Carrion and Veldora can do. So Space 2.0 must be better than this. It has to be. Otherwise, it's a flop. Otherwise, it's not following the convention of gacha games where every meta is better than the last, even though the Wind 2.0 didn't really do that, in my opinion. But if they don't make this space meta better than the previous space meta, then they're doing something wrong, and they're not going to sell. So they have to make these new space units absolutely cracked. And if they don't, well, then I guess it's a very easy month for me to skip, because, of course, they're going to drop Space 2.0 when I go free to play. So, always fun in the neighborhood, right? So as far as the units that we are able to choose, Geld, Kurobay, and the Chad, last time this got ran, we got Traya. She won. I don't know why, probably because waifu. So let's go over the kits of Geld, Kurobay, and Gale so you guys can determine who you want to choose to win this Awakening Trial survey. So let's filter by Earth. And let's start with the Chad, Gail Gibson. So he is a defensive type, uses a book, magic damage. Okay. He has a single target attack, so that's very good already for Conquest Milim, having a single target damage. He increases all allies' counterattack power by up to, I believe, 20%? Yeah, 20%. So it's good if you're going to run the golem and you're going to run that defensive team, that you can increase your counterattack power. You'll just do a little bit extra damage, and extra damage in Space Millim is good, is very, very good. And then he also increases your pierce resistance by up to 50%, which is highly necessary if you're not going for like the super bursty 2 or 3 turn kill for Millim. So if you're going to do the I don't have the light team or the new earth team to completely pound Millim into the ground, then you run the golem, and you run Gail Gibson, and you run Trya and Trainee, and all these units who have really, really good defensive buffs to outlast, so you can sit there and tank hits while taking less damage than normal, and counterattack back and back and back and back until you eventually kill her. But increasing your counterattack power is good. Increasing your pierce resistance, because Millim has disgusting pierce, is very good. And then having a single target ult is also just icing on top of the cake. His trait, when your troop contains 3 or more battle characters, increases his own pierce rate by 5%, which, quite honestly, isn't really that impressive. No one on the old OG Earth team is giving pierce, so it's not very useful. But the rest of his kit is very useful. I haven't even checked his EX board, though. What is it? Not that I think you should invest EX things into these units, but he gets crit damage and pierce power. Okay. Yeah, not what I would consider necessary. But let's check out Geld, the Orc King. So he is physical. He is also defensive growth type. You're seeing a pattern here. And he is another single target damage dealer who also increases your defense and then decreases a single target's counterattack rate, which is not as good. Conquest Millim doesn't have a high counterattack rate per se, but again, raising your defense by any means, whether it's pure defense, pierce resistance, whatever way to decrease the damage you take from Space Millim is good. And then his trait, when you have 50% or lower HP, increases his own defense by 9% at the start of the turn. That can be useful, because very, very, very often Space Millim will just absolutely hate one unit, and if she picks this unit and you have defense up and then she lowers you to 50%, then you just get extra defense, which I guess will help you tank 4 more hits, I guess, until you die. But another single target, more defense. Second skill, not quite as useful as the Chads, so I still think the Chad would be the best option, but let's check out Kurobay as the last unit. Physical, balance growth type, and he is an AoE, so already right there, not quite as useful for surviving that stage, but he does have an orb change from orange to blue, which the OG Earth team ran on blues. Earth Millim is a double orange to blue orb changer. And then he also has a 50% pierce resistance buff. So honestly, if you're not looking for DPS, the Chad, honestly, they're 4-star and 3-star units, right? They're not going to do insane levels of damage. But if you can sacrifice a little bit, and you want another orb changer, that way you can just get the the golem online faster to keep that counterattack and that guard power up, then Kurobay can actually be a solid option for you. He was on my team when I originally beat EX Millim, like the very first time. It took forever to beat that stage, because the Earth meta was not out yet. Light 2.0 was not out yet. We were running with Trainee, Earth Millim, Kurobay, the Chad. We were running with very, very low-powered, under-leveled Earth units. So making sure that you always had guard and counterattack up was desperately important. And I got stupid lucky on that run because I had like 2 super counters or something. But more defense, having the pierce resistance, or the pierce damage that's coming in, being an orb changer to go alongside Millim is very powerful. So, you can choose whether or not you want the orb change from Kurobay or you want the extra counterattack power from the Chad. Personally, I like the Chad more, not because I just keep calling him the Chad and he's a meme for me at this point, but I do think that his single target ult does come in handy because if you have no one from the old Earth or the new Earth team, the first Earth meta, your best damage dealer on single target is Trainee. Because Earth Milim is AoE. Traya is AoE. Kurobay is AoE. Geld and the Chad are single targets with Trainee, who is almost the lowest attack stat in the game for a 5-star. So, you want the counterattacks. You also want a semi-decent ult to do just a chunk of damage. So that's why that I personally, if I didn't have the Chad maxed out, I would choose the Chad. But since I don't need him, I'm going to choose Kurobay, because I think he brings a little bit more to the table than Geld does. So there's the overview for the Awakening Trials units. Space 2.0 is coming up next. I expect that to drop, I think, when does the Milim banner leave? Let's check that out real fast. I think the 29th. Oh, got 10 points there. This leaves, yes, the 29th at 10:59 p.m. The 29th, so that's Monday. So I expect the Space Meta 2.0 to start the night of the 29th at 7 p.m., so a couple hours before this banner is done. It could drop a little bit earlier. We know that there is a live stream scheduled for next Monday, the 22nd, not by the actual game developers, but by the actual, like, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime anime development team. They're going to hold some, like, big live stream that will happen to have some information about Slime Isekai Memories in it, so it's not a wholly dedicated Isekai Memories stream. The 23rd, Tuesday, is the 300th day of service, which we know in the previous Global Dev live stream, they are planning on doing something, so I think I expect some kind of news about what they're going to do for the 300th day of service. But, yeah, so stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments, are you excited for Space 2.0? Are you missing the old Space meta, and you are just tired of seeing everyone say, use the Space team, use the Space team, use the Space team? So now, maybe, if you're willing to summon, maybe you can have a crack Space team again. Or for the first time. Or, you know, the actual 1-year anniversary is in October, so maybe everyone should skip? We'll find out when we get the kits, right? But again, let me know in the comments what you think about this. That's it for me, guys. I gotta go get ready for work. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.